Sweet. We are live now. I'm pretty sure. Okay, so this is, yeah, we're using something new. So, yeah, sorry if there are any issues or technical difficulties. But yeah, here we are. We are live. So we thought while we're waiting for people to hop on and join, we just talk a little bit about our vacation. If you guys have been following us or following me on Instagram, you'll know that we were just on vacation and we went to Mexico and it was super awesome. And we relaxed. We had a really great time. And yeah, it was for my birthday. Um, yeah. What are some funny things that happened? We got pummeled by the waves. That was fun. The undertow was like super strong, and so I was really nervous about going in. And then I was like, okay, whatever, we'll just do it. So we go in the water and we're like playing around and everything's great. And then when we decide to get out, we like ride a wave out, and then it like crashes and we get sucked under by the undertow, and we were like held under and like tumbling for like, I don't know, at least like 10 seconds or something. um and so we like popped back up, and then it was like I was coughing and we were like, oh my god, what just happened? It was really funny.
Oh yeah, the waves. So the waves in Cabo, they're not like normal beach waves that like build up and crash. They build up and then they kind of like get low, and then you get a long, it's like wash up on the shore. But it's so steep as it goes up that it comes back super fast.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times people who just got into Cabo, it's funny, they were in for quite the surprise.
Yeah.
They'd be walking along the beach, they're like, oh, this is amazing. And then a wave would come and take their legs out and they'd fall.
Yeah.
And then as they're lying down, the water would recede and the undertow would just like sweep them back into the water.
Yeah, like suck them under.
And so that happened to us the first time we were out there.
Yeah.
Like you could see it, like it was pretty strong. Once you're out there, like you really felt it. It was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And then yeah, when you get sucked back in and another wave's coming in, they collide and you're like just stuck in the middle and then just throwing you around everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
yeah, exactly.
I thought it was pretty fun. Some people were freaking out and like screaming because they totally weren't expecting it and got taken away.
Yeah, well, and it was like so strong. Like I was scared, and after that, I was like, I'm not doing that again. I don't want to get like, sucked under, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be ready for it.
Fun.
But it's fun. Like it's fun, like taking the water all the way back in because it like carries you 20 feet or so.
Yeah.
So that's a fun experience. But yeah, once you like go back into the wave, that's really messy.
Yeah, you get tumbled around and all that stuff. But anyway, so that was one fun experience. Or I guess fun. Another was I got food poisoning. Ooh, so that was great. So that took like, I don't know, a whole day out for us, kind of. Basically, I got coffee and added milk to it, and the milk was bad, and I was throwing up like all night. And then the whole next day, my stomach was still just like recovering, and I didn't feel great, and we were still able to do some of the fun things that we had planned, but like I was not feeling super fantastic. So that happened. Yeah, but other than that, it was a great time.
Yeah, it was relaxing in a way.
Yeah.
The all-inclusive resorts. The food was delicious.
Oh yeah, the food was amazing. Yeah.
Italian, Mexican, of course.
Mm-hmm.
We also had sushi.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing breakfast buffets.
Yeah.
And they just do an amazing job with the service there.
Mm-hmm.
I was impressed. And like everyone was so friendly.
Yeah.
It makes it a much more enjoyable experience.
Yeah.
So it was a nice 4 days. Per
It
se. We
was.
ate a lot, drank a lot, and hung out by the beach in the pool.
Exactly.
It was fun, like also just starting small talk with like people who are also visiting.
Mm-hmm.
We talked to like probably talked to like I don't know 10
Yeah.
We weren't like I don't know. We weren't trying to like meet people and party with them or anything like that. But,
Yeah.
it was nice just like seeing where people were from or
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there are people from all
just
over.
joking around here and there. Everyone's in a good mood, so it's just a fun environment.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's spring breakers.
Yeah, there were a lot of spring breakers. I know we didn't really plan to go the week that we went. We wanted to go a different week, but like I don't know, Mike had surgery, so we had to reschedule, and we didn't realize until after that it was like the same week as Easter. So yeah, there were like a ton of spring breakers while we were there. That's okay. It was still fun. Okay, so right now we are streaming live to Facebook. Woohoo! So if you are watching and you are on Facebook, you can type into the comments, I believe, and we can see the comments. So you can ask us any questions, anything you want to know about polyamory, about our relationship, anything like that. You can type it into the comments and we can comment back, or you can type it into what is that, the Facebook Messenger. You can type it in a Facebook Messenger and I'll get it, and then we can answer any questions that you have from here. Or if you joined via the link in my Instagram bio, then you can hop on and join us. You can just type anything you want to know in the chat, or you can actually like hop on video or just audio if you don't want to do video and talk to us live. So that's how this is working. If you are watching and you want to know anything, or if you have any questions. So yeah, we'll be toggling back and forth. If you can see us, we'll be toggling back and forth between the two screens. So yeah, if you're watching and you have any questions, let us know. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, which it kind of like registered when we were in the airport, but then I didn't really think about it again until today, was so when we were walking, we had just gotten into LAX and we were walking to fill up our water bottles because they have those little water like refill stations after you get through security. And there was this little girl with her mom, and she was like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. She had a little backpack on and she had a stuffed animal and she was like holding her mom's hand. And she turned to her mom and she was like, am I being a good girl, Mom? And her mom was like, yeah, you're being a good girl. And like, that just like hit me because I was like, oh no. Like, I don't know. She's teaching her little girl to like be a good girl. And what does that mean? That means to me, like teaching someone how to be a good girl is to behave in a certain way, to be nice, right? We're taught to like be nice to everyone. Don't cause trouble. Don't be loud. Don't be, I don't know, anything that's going to like draw attention to you or cause a commotion or anything like that. It's like, I don't know. It's like teaching girls to not, what am I trying to say? To sort of like suppress their own like wants or needs or desires in order to make other people happy. So, and that really struck me because I feel like so many women, right, are brought up that way. And then we get older and we realize that, like, some of the things that we want are different than what society tells us to want. And so, like, polyamory, for example, you know, like, it's something that is not, I mean, it's accepted, but it's like really, it's not common, and it's not something that society tells you to, like, says is appropriate, right? Society is like, no, you have to be monogamous. You have to, you know, do things, you know, the right way. And so it just kind of struck me, like, this little girl was like wanting to make sure that she was like being a good girl, getting the approval from her mom or from other people of being like, yes, I am this perfect little person. You know, obviously she doesn't realize that. Maybe her mom doesn't realize that that's what's happening, but that's what that made me think of. And just like how hard it is when we get older to then step outside of those like boundaries and those labels that society puts on us, to do the things that we want to do or be the kind of person that we want to be, because it's different than what society tells us we should be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know you were thinking
that. I know. Well, because it happened just like really quickly. It was like, we were in the airport filling the water bottles and they were walking past us, and it just like, you know, like we were getting ready to go on vacation, and I was like, I don't want to bring this up or talk about this right now. And then I kind of just forgot about it. But then we got home and I remembered today. I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I guess it also depends on like the specific context of what she was doing. Right? Like there's still like a baseline level of like politeness and kindness. I think it's good to teach.
Well, of course, like, yeah.
So yeah, it depends on what she was doing. But like
yeah.
I get the general like idea of like, oh, this is like what society thinks is good.
Yeah.
And like, you know, this is like the one path that like defines good, and you might only like be introduced to that path when you're young.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get the idea, but yeah, it's hard to like specifically say like what that little girl like was doing or what her parents were like teaching her overall. But, like I get the idea.
Yeah. Well, and of course, but like, I don't know. It's also just for her to be saying like, am I a good girl? Like looking for that validation. It wasn't like she did something and her mom was like, good job. You know, it was like, she was just asking like, am I being a good girl? Like wanting to get that validation of like, yeah, of just like, oh, okay, good. I'm doing the thing that makes you happy, you know, and that like people pleasing,
yeah,
sort of.
I guess the fact that she's even asking that as like a young child means that probably means that like her parents are like pushing her to like act in a certain way.
Yeah,
she's seeking that at a young age. I don't know if I don't think that's typically normal for a child to do.
Yeah.
Maybe to get attention, but usually not. I don't know. I haven't heard many kids say that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, and so that's exactly what I think it is. I think it was, she's already learned to seek validation from her parents or for somebody else, but for being good. Which, yeah, I feel like a lot of people and a lot of women, you know, struggle with that and like learn that and have to go through with that. Oh, here we are. Woohoo! Yay! Thank you for joining us. Hello. Yeah, if you have any questions for us, let us know in the chat. Here, I'm just going to type that. Cool. Yeah, hello, hello. If you have questions, let us know. Anything you want to know in the chat. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I was saying is that like I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. And so yeah, I'm talking about this little girl being like the good girl, but I mean it also goes into like not just like polyamory or any kind of relationship that's like different. It has to do with like anything in life, you know?
Yeah, well, I guess. Yeah, I'm just thinking like what the alternative would be. It's like
Whoa, hey
you
Peach.
have to have some sort of standard that you hold your child to, but you also like I guess you want to give them like some freedom of choice too.
Yeah, I mean
It's a
obviously
delicate balance.
yeah, I mean obviously we want to like teach people what like not to hurt other people and stuff like that. Like that's just the basics of like being a good human being. But I mean like yeah, not teaching, children to just do what is like what society wants them to do or be whoever society wants them to be, but to like think for themselves and what is it that you really want to do? What is it that like your heart really wants and then going for that, whether or not it's the thing that most people approve of. And I think that goes with relationships. I think a lot of people think that monogamy is like the only way to go, and that's just not true. And it can be hard to be like, you know what, I want something different. And I don't know, some people can be like scared of that, or what are my friends gonna think, what's my family gonna think, what's gonna happen when I tell them. And
Yeah, I guess that's when you reach like adolescence or early adulthood. That's you have to define like what your true beliefs are and who you want to be,
yeah,
or even into adulthood. I mean, it's not like maybe we kind of just like settle into like our own ways and beliefs, but I guess it doesn't have to be like that either. You can keep evolving and growing and changing.
yeah, yeah, of course. And beliefs can change and things can change,
I think
but
it is common and easy just to like continue down the path of like what your parents taught you or like what it's like what they taught you is right or like what their beliefs were.
yeah,
It's hard to like it's very difficult to like truly question that and like move outside of it
yeah.
for a lot of people. But I guess you have like the other extreme where like people are just so like rebellious and anti whatever their parents want them to do.
Yeah, true.
They just think it's like the exact opposite.
Yeah,
Because yeah, I guess like at the end of the day, they want their own freedom and they want their own independence, and for them, that's like totally breaking away from their parents.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I know for me it took quite some time, to sort of break away from what my parents were thinking and my parents' beliefs and really start to, sort of question all of that and say like, okay, but what do I really want? What, not looking at what does everybody else think I should want, or what does society tell me I should want, but what do I actually want? And when I started looking at that, the first thing for me was realizing that like I didn't want children. That was the first thing. Um, and then after that, realizing that like I wanted to be able to like date multiple people or be in love with multiple people. Like, why not? Why can't we be in love with multiple people? And so that was that, and that took a really long time. And also like all of the conditioning that goes behind all of that. Like, where did all of these beliefs come from? And like all of the conditioning I had to look at and sort of break in order to say like, yeah, I really do want these things and I'm going to go for it. because that is again going back to that, like, I need to be a good girl. What are the things that I need to do to be accepted? You know, oh, I need to be in a monogamous relationship. I need to go to college. I need to get married. I need to buy the White House with the picket fence and have the family and blah blah blah. You know, and there's all this conditioning that's behind that, and then to say like, no, I don't want to do that. You know, it takes some time to get to that point. Well, maybe for some people, it took me quite some time. Maybe not for everyone.
Yeah, you have to break off the thought process and the path that you've been given up to this point in life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people's parents are like, they're just, they're trying to like, of course they're trying to do what's best for them, but at the same time they're also kind of projecting and like handing down their own like beliefs and their own insecurities, and yeah, it's just, it takes a lot of self awareness and just, I guess, determination to like really truly define like who you want to be.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what, I mean, we're like in our young 30s and we're still kind of doing that. So
yeah, we are still
like we have it fully figured out. We're
trying
still,
to figure everything out.
We're still like, I mean, I feel like we have, a pretty like strong understanding of who we are and a strong self identity, but we've also left it open to like adapting to new beliefs or just new like feelings.
Yeah.
And pathways.
Yeah, exactly. Just thinking about how it's like, yeah, we're still trying to figure things out, and we're in our young 30s. Really quick, we have a few more people on here. So, hello, hi. If you have any questions, please feel free to type them into the chat. And if you're on Facebook, type them into the chat, and I can ask questions, we can answer your questions. Or if you're on Riverside, the other link, then we can actually talk live. Oh, there's people on here! Yay! Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's start with, this came in at 7:22, and the other one came in.
Good question.
Yeah. Okay. There's a couple good questions. So first on Facebook, we're gonna ask. Devin asks, "What aspects do you feel like you're still trying to figure out as a couple?" And then Ara, we're coming over to you on Riverside after that. We can see your, we can see. Yeah, typing it in the chat is perfect. Thank you. Okay. So what aspects do you feel like you're still trying to figure out as a couple? What are we still trying to figure out?
So, I mean, we've been together for almost 6 years now.
I know.
Yeah, coming in mid-May.
Yeah, end of May.
Oh, yeah, end of May.
Well, I get 23rd.
Around there,
yeah. 23rd. I always think it's the 25th, but it's not. It's the 23rd, huh?
So, yeah, we've been together for quite some time.
Yeah.
Been married 2.5 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're definitely still trying to figure out this being poly thing. I think a lot of it has to do with like just time management and making sure that like we commit enough time to see each other, but we also have enough like time and energy to like dating other people too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if we didn't have jobs, it'd probably be significantly easier to do that. But
well, yeah, if we didn't have jobs, it would be super easy to do anything, really.
Yeah,
you could do whatever you wanted.
I don't know. For me, I should say for me, it's finding like that balance of time and of energy, because I wake up at like 5:36 every day, and like by the time I get home, I'm pretty tired. So
yeah. So there's that, the time management, and obviously we are still new to polyamory, so there is quite a bit that we're still going to have to figure out as we start dating more. But I think, yeah, the time management. But we did pretty good when I was dating. but we haven't both been dating at the same time. So I think that's going to be the hardest part. And also working through, neither one of us has been in like a serious relationship yet. So I think that might take some working through too when one of us starts to get serious with somebody else, like what working through that and the other person's emotions and jealousy is always going to be a factor, something that we have to work through. So yeah, I think that's probably going to be kind of tough. Maybe not tough, but something we definitely have to work through.
Yeah, I think for me also is I'm just gonna speak from my point of view.
Yeah.
For me, it's also just being like one aspect that I'm working on that I think you're really good at and you have down is just being it's a little more open, um, both just like in person and through social media.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of just I've talked about this before, but just like being fully like expressive and like not just being like this is me and not like worrying about what other people think or just like I don't know, just thinking that the reactions are only going to be negative.
Yeah.
So I've just been more private in general.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I guess like one big aspect I'm working on is just being more open and more expressive.
Yeah.
And that's just something that you've just been better at naturally. So I think like our communication, like one on one, is really good.
Yeah.
Like we're always talking.
Yeah.
We're always just keeping each other updated with what's going on, like our thoughts, our beliefs. But for me, it's just like just being more like naturally more like open and expressive.
Yeah.
And not just like keeping everything in and filtered and just like trying to figure out everything internally.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. So you like when we talk together, when it's like just us, you're pretty expressive, or at least you are now, or I at least know the right questions to ask to get you to kind of
the probe.
Yeah, the probing questions to like get you there.
Yeah.
Do you think that because when we are one on one, you're able to be more expressive, that when you start dating other people, do you think that's still going to be an issue? Do you think it's a matter of like trusting them, or since that again is just like a one on one thing, you might be more expressive?
Well, I think it is easier to be a little more expressive one on one. But yeah, when you do like trust the person and you enjoy their company.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's more of just like just taking the initiative, being more like directly open. I don't know, just not being like getting in my own head or like being shy about it.
Yeah.
Because that was my natural tendency growing up, is to be like a lot more introverted and a lot more like I like to filter all my like feelings and beliefs a little bit before like I actually like, express them.
Yeah.
So like I'm still gonna do that, but it's like sometimes I'll do that. I just wouldn't even like say like what I wanted to say or like the end conclusion I reached. I wouldn't even express it. I would just keep it in.
Yeah.
Like okay, like I figured that out. I'm done. I wasn't telling them about it.
Yeah, you like figured it out for yourself, but then that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just something that I've been wanting to do for a while.
Yeah.
I feel like, us being able to do that has helped me a lot, and I want to keep doing that and being more open and expressive with you.
Yeah.
And then also just expand that
out. Yay. Okay, let's hop over here. We have some questions.
No, do you think there's any other aspects that we're trying to work on as a couple? Anything like specific? Maybe outside being polyamorous?
I don't know. I feel like we're doing pretty good right now. Is there anything?
Yeah, maybe just committing a little more time to like just committing quality time to one another.
Yeah.
We're trying to go on more date nights and really set aside time to be like, this is our time.
Yeah, that's true.
And not be so like I don't know, lazy or like lackadaisical about it.
Yeah, sort of that like romancing each other still, and like
Yeah,
going on
just yeah,
date
exactly.
nights and spending like good quality time with each other, because
Not being complacent
yeah,
and not just like getting lazy and be like, oh, I'm in a relationship, like, oh, it's content. Like, you know, let's just like keep doing what we're doing.
yeah,
But yeah, you don't want to get like boring and monotonous.
yeah, and because like that's, I mean, that's something that every couple experiences when they've been together, for a long period of time. Obviously that like newness and that exciting, that dies down, and then you have to find other ways to, experience, like keep the fire alive, as they say,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And
important.
so, yeah, I guess, and a way for us to do that has been really making sure that we commit to like quality time with each other, where there's like no TV, no phones, and it's like just us. So we can really like be together and talk about whatever we want to talk about. And I don't know.
Yeah, to be like fully present with each other, not
Yeah.
distracted.
Yeah. Not have any other distractions. That has really helped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the next question. I think we
Okay. Yeah.
talked about that one for quite some time.
Okay. What's a core belief you each have that you think differ from what you know of your parents' core beliefs? Okay. So that's like what we were
That's a
talking
good
about
question.
earlier.
Yeah.
A belief that we have. Well, I think like the polyamory thing, that's kind of obvious, right? But that's
Yeah.
that's true. Like neither one of our parents, at least my parents, you know, polyamory was not a thing. Monogamy. Like my dad, my dad's dad, so my grandfather on my dad's side, was a priest, or a minister, I should say, not a priest, not Catholic, was a minister. And so he grew up, going to church every Sunday because his dad was the minister. And like you get married and you stay married for life and all that kind of stuff. And my mom, she just also was like, that's just what you do. You get married and you have one person for your whole life. And I can remember talking to my mom and saying that, but what if I want to have a boyfriend and like, or be married and have like a committed relationship, but also see other people? Like, why can't I have both? And she was like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. And that is like a core belief in and of itself, right? That idea of like you can't have everything. You can only have certain things. You can't have everything. And I don't think that's true. I think you can have everything. You just have to know what those things are, and you have to be upfront with other people about it, and you can. And so yeah, I remember being like, no, I want my cake and I want to eat it too. Like I want it all, and I want to be able to have it all. And maybe that's just a little bit of like, that's just always been me. I'm like, I want everything, and like that's just a little bit part of my personality. But I think that's also a belief that a lot of our parents and other generations grew up with. You can't have it all. You have to pick and choose. You have to sacrifice certain things if you want other things. And but I just don't know if that's really true. I think if you really want something, there's a way to get it without having to make huge sacrifices, or sacrifices that you don't want to make, I should say. I don't know.
I mean, your mom is right. Like, you can't have your cake and eat it too. But I think being polyamorous is different than that.
Well, I think being polyamorous is exactly that. Having your cake and eating it too, right? Because now we are in a loving, committed relationship and I still get to date other people and experience other relationships. I am having my cake and eating it too. Right?
It depends on how, like, I'm thinking of it, depends on how technical you get of that saying.
Okay, well, okay. It's not about the saying; it's about the idea. Okay.
Yeah. No, I get it because I've always had a hard time. I feel like growing up, like you had to like. I had a hard time choosing. If I had two options, I had a hard time choosing just one. I was like, how can I have both, but not, I don't know, not be like, I don't know, like how could I have both and like but still be like, I don't know, moral about it or just like,
Yeah.
Like there's got to be. I don't know. I was always trying to find like a loophole, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. See, you were doing the same thing.
Yeah, but yeah, I guess it was. I'm just trying to think of a specific example right now.
Yeah. Maybe you weren't as good at getting both as I was, because I've always been very good at being like finding a way to get exactly what I want.
Yeah, I guess it was kind of like small things. Like I don't know. I felt like people who listen to like a certain genre of music, like only listen to that music. But I was like, well, I like several genres of music. Like I don't want to just like pigeonhole myself into one. Like I like each genre for a different reason. So like I'm gonna kind of just like spread out more and like listen to all these different types of music.
Yeah.
I don't know. That may not be the best example, but I think the idea was like I was always trying to like just figure out like how I could have both. The thing is, I think it is more difficult though. It takes a little more. It takes more figuring out, and it takes more energy.
Yeah.
To be able to like do both.
Yeah.
To have both. In this case, like it's just. I guess we'll just keep it out like being polyamorous.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it is. It's possible, but yeah, it's a lot more time, a lot more effort.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be a lot more open, and you have to communicate a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like I think choosing that having your cake and eating it too option also comes with its own set of like consequences or rules that you have to follow.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean, it does take a lot more work, so you have to really want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I don't know. I don't want to get too much into that. The having your cake and eating it too analogy. I just didn't quite exactly see it like that. But
that's okay.
I was trying to think of
your core beliefs.
My mom's core beliefs. Yeah. So yeah, I have a twin brother, and we were raised pretty much solely by our mom, and she's just an extremely kind, sweet woman. I think for me, actually, a hard part was she's also pretty religious. I think she's I don't even know what she is.
Did you say Catholic?
I think she was Catholic. Yeah.
Yeah. You go to mass and you have to like. I mean, I don't know. I've never been to a Catholic church, but you do the this thing and the pews, and you get the water. I think at the front.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to say. That was my mom.
It's all like in Latin.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes.
I don't know. I never went to church. The whole point was I never went to church. So my mom always kind of allowed my brother and I to figure out like our own path.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of alluding back to like what you were talking about in the beginning of like, this mom trying to like teach, like, I don't know, like guide her child down this one path. I think my mom did a really good job of that. She was like, just be good people, like get good grades. She was very school focused.
Yeah. And
like, don't have kids before you want them. She just had these very like general rules.
Yeah.
And everything else, she was like, like you and your brother like can fill in the rest.
Yeah.
Like, with your own experiences, and like with what you want. So I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
I think for me though, like, so it's not like a direct like my parents were like really hammering home this one way to be. But I think for me, just being like having grown up with like such a sweet, caring mom, like I always found it extremely difficult to be like confrontational or assertive. So for me, it was like learning how to be different than what my mom was, like what her natural tendency was, just to be a little more passive and a little more, just like accommodating.
Yeah.
But there were times where
being a good girl.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing.
Yeah, along those same lines. But I mean, there's a time and place where you need to be like one or the other.
Yeah.
And for me, like that was not my natural tendency, and it wasn't like how my mom had raised us, or like what how I saw her acting.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it was just really just being like, I need like realizing that I had wanted to like state my opinion or be assertive in like a certain situation and not doing it,
Yeah.
and then like having regrets about that, and like, oh, I should have like stood up for myself, or I should have like said what I thought. And yeah, just like when you go through that cycle enough times, and you have enough regrets, you're like finally just like I need to like change this about me. I need to be more assertive. I need to like truly speak my mind here.
Yeah.
So for me, I guess it was just kind of being comfortable and confident with speaking out and speaking my own truth and like what I wanted.
Yeah.
My mom was like, and I mean it's my mom like gave Matt and I, like my brother and I, such a very good foundation, but there were like some things we definitely needed to fill in.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like rewriting any core beliefs. It was more just like I needed to add to like my personality, like add some traits here and there.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hope that answers your questions. Arrow. Oh, sorry. It's pronounced arrow, not arrow. My bad. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. Let's see. Do we have any other questions at the moment?
Some Facebook questions.
Yeah, let's go back to Facebook. No, doesn't look like we have any new questions yet. Let me see. Okay, because I also have Facebook Messenger up, toggling between all the things, but it's working, so that's cool. Yeah, if you guys have any more questions, please type them into the chat. You can type a message. If you're on Riverside, you can type a message, or there is a way for you to like talk to us if you want to talk. But that might be, a little too much pressure. So I get it if that's not your thing. Like, keep typing into the chat. And yeah, on Facebook, obviously it has to be. Hi, Mom. We were just talking about you. My mom just hopped on. Yeah, if you're on Facebook, then any questions that you have, type them into the chat, into the comments, and we will answer your questions. Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, I think it's really interesting. Yeah, what you were saying about your core beliefs and sort of like having no, you didn't miss it. You didn't miss it. It's still happening. It's still happening. So if you have any questions, go ahead and type it in. Anyway, yeah, I just think it's interesting because I think going back to what you were saying about your mom, it ties in perfectly to what I was saying at the very beginning about, like being passive and not stating like, your truth or saying what you believe or anything like that. It's exactly that like good girl mentality or being a good boy or like whatever. It's that. Yeah. It's literally that. So what we were talking about at the beginning.
Yeah, I feel like it is that on my mom's side, but I feel like growing up without a father probably would have balanced that out somewhat.
Yeah.
Most likely,
Yeah.
It's having more of that like masculine energy.
Mm-hmm.
The assertiveness, the directness.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like playfulness. It's like the traditional, typical things that you think that you see like a good dad having.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, I'm not assuming my dad was at least going to be a decent dad, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people also have mothers who are very assertive.
Oh yeah, I'm very controlling.
Yeah. Right? We all have that one friend who has that one mom who's like crazy controlling. But I mean, it's like it's not just like a masculine energy. Yes, being assertive is yes, masculine energy, but it's not just found in males.
Just generally speaking.
In general. Yeah. But yeah, exactly. You didn't really get that example from your mom, and you didn't have a dad to get it from either, so you kind of had to figure that one out on your own, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Exactly. Cool. Well, it looks like we've been going for about 45 minutes now. What? Where did the time go? Okay, so we'll stick around for a little bit longer. If anyone has any questions or anything they want to ask, feel free to put it in the chat. I don't have anything on here. Anything on here? Yeah. Oh, here's another one. What's something you each hope the other will get to experience because of poly? Ah, I love this.
These are great questions.
Yeah.
Thank you for the great questions, Arrow.
Yeah. So something. Okay, that was like a big thing for me when we first started talking about like opening up our relationship, and it was like, this isn't just for me, this is for you. Like I was like, I want you to experience like this, like what I am experiencing, and so it was so. What am I trying to say? Like, I was like so excited for you to have your first experience. I mean, I still am, because your first experience was very short lived.
Mm-hmm.
But like that, yeah, I am really excited for you to like meet someone that you really like and want to spend time with them, and feel what it's like to like be in love with like multiple people, or and have that experience to be like, wow, like it's so like heart opening and so powerful to experience that and to feel not limited. And I think that was the big thing for me. I didn't want to feel limited, right? Like when we were talking, Mom, we were talking about, since you're still on here, we were talking about how you told me you can't have your cake and eat it too. And I was like, but I want both. I want to have my cake and eat it too. And it was that. I was like, I wanted you to experience that. And
okay. There you keep going.
I know. Well, I am, but I'm thinking, but like that's what I wanted you to experience, and so you kind of did, but it was so short. So like that's what I'm really excited for you to experience, and because I do think that like exactly like opening up to somebody else and dating them and falling in love and loving two people at one time, I think is going to be like a really heart opening experience for you, and help you with the things you're wanting to work on, like being expressive and showing your emotions more, and so that's what I'm really excited about for you.
Yeah, I'm excited about that too.
Yeah.
That was like the main reasons I really wanted to do this.
Yeah.
What am I excited about?
Nothing.
I guess you're just you just want to experience so much.
Yeah.
And yeah, you really don't want to be limited. So I'm just excited for you to like be able to live out, like these desires that you've had for so long.
Yeah.
That you've been trying to figure out, and that you've maybe bottled up for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
and just be able to like, I guess, fully understand what those desires are, and then now to like live them out
Yeah.
without any like confusion or without any limitation.
Yeah. 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 I mean, that's exactly it. I don't want to be limited. I don't want to be limited by other people. I limit myself sometimes, and I'm working on not doing that, right? We all do. We all limit ourselves. But I hate even more when other people put limits on me. I'm like, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me who I can or can't be.
Yeah,
I just don't like other people telling me what to do.
you've always been like that though.
I have always been like that.
It's like a it's a natural rebel.
I don't know about rebel. I still follow the rules most of the time.
I guess rebel to like, I don't know, not like law breaking rebel, but just like societal norm rebel, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. It's my the Aquarius in my chart. My mom says I'm a lot like her, only better. Oh, thanks, mom.
That's sweet.
Let's see. Arrow, I got you guys. Thank you. Yeah, that was a really really good question. I hope we answered it.
But yeah, I think like the general idea is just for both of us to be able to like grow ourselves and our relationships more by not having this, a relationship or a love limitation,
Yeah,
just to be happier
yeah,
based on what our desires are, and that is to have, I guess, yeah, just an open polyamorous relationship.
yeah. I mean, it goes back to the being limited. Like yes, there are certain things that I think we each are going to gain as individuals from being polyamorous, which we just talked about. But I also think there's like so much for us to gain as a couple, and so much like growth from like having these experiences with other people that in turn is going to cause us to grow individually, but us to also grow as a couple. And like, isn't that what we all want, to like grow together and learn together and create an even like deeper relationship? Isn't that what we all want out of relationships?
Yeah, and I know we can do that even if we weren't, even if we decided to stay monogamous. Like I know we can do that.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is just going to give us like a little something extra.
Yeah.
To just kind of explore and experiment and grow even more.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like when you're in relationship with someone, right, they they end up being like one of your biggest teachers, right? You learn so much about yourself when you are in relationship with somebody else. And so then what if you're in relationship with multiple people? Then you're learning about yourself not just from one person, but from multiple. You're probably learning different things from each one of these people. Maybe you're learning the same thing from all of them. Maybe there's one thing that you're like really like, wow, I didn't realize I needed to work on that. But like maybe it's like you're learning different things from all of these people, and like so it's kind of like speeding up that process, or like multiplying it in a sense, that like growth process. Like we want to grow together, of course, but like that individual growth is going to be happening on like multiple levels with multiple people. So it's like speeding up that process in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. We just want to grow, I guess.
It's also just like a fulfillment and a happiness aspect too.
Yeah.
Just having a deep, loving connection with other people just makes you feel accepted and just happy
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It's also that growing, for me at least, that growth makes me feel really good and makes me really happy. And yeah, that is what makes me happy. Um, that growth through deep relationships with other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jumping into the deep end. No shallow end over here. But really, that's what it is. I'm gonna go into the deep end, but like with everybody.
Because of relationships.
Yeah, yeah. It will. I mean, even with like friendships and stuff.
But there's a limit though. You can't. It's like how many relationships do you think you really have where you're not sacrificing the quality of
Yeah.
the relationship with the other people?
Well, and that's the other thing. It's not, okay. I'm not like I'm gonna have 10 relationships. Like, good God.
Oh, you said you wanted everything.
I said I don't want to be limited. Okay.
Yeah.
I can limit myself, but I don't want to be limited by others. That's what I said.
I think that it will be a tricky part that we'll have to figure out though.
Yeah.
How many relationships is sustainable?
Yeah.
And manageable.
Yeah.
And we're only human.
Exactly. But I mean, also, I think it's also like not everyone you meet. You might meet someone and be like, this person's really cool and I want to see them again, but it doesn't mean you want to have a deep, deep relationship with them, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know, or it could be like, oh, I'm just going to see this person every once in a while, and that's good enough for me. Or for this particular relationship, but then another one, you're like, no, this is one that I want to go to the deep end with.
Yeah.
Whereas others, maybe you're okay just like playing in the shallow end every once in a while. That's okay. That's all you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's also that. Like, so yeah, I don't think you could have like 10 super deep relationships. That maybe if you didn't have a job, like we were talking about earlier, if you weren't working and that was all you could do, then maybe you could do that. But I mean, having like one or two deep relationships, and then also one or two maybe just like shallow end relationships, we'll call it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I agree. I get what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Is it time?
Are you tired?
Well, got back pretty late from vacation last night, so yeah.
I know, true. You didn't get a whole lot of sleep. Mm-hmm. Okay. It looks like we have one more question. So this will be our last question, and then we'll be done. Okay. So, given your shared investment in each other, what are some practical ground rules you think can help and preserve and deepen the strength of your bond? I feel like we've talked about this one a little bit before, maybe in like other episodes. But yeah, ground rules. I think for our relationship and just relationships in general, like you have to have ground rules. Even in monogamy, right? You have ground rules, and one of those rules is that you can't see other people, right? But like that's still one of the ground rules. So ground rules are super important in any relationship. I mean, you have them in friendships too. But anyway, one of our biggest rules has been like the other person has to feel like they're getting enough time. Because like we were talking about earlier, time management is like a big thing when you're trying to see multiple people, and making sure everyone feels like they're getting like enough time. That's kind of been our biggest one, is making sure that like trying to split time evenly, or at least evenly enough that everyone feels like happy and taken care of, and not like their relationship is being neglected. Because nobody wants to feel that way. And so for us, we are each other's primary partners. Whoa, hi Peach. She's back. We are each other's primary partners. So, that means that like we want we want to be spending the most time with each other. Now, of course, like things can change. It can be like, oh, like this week, maybe we just our schedules don't line up, and so we see other people more that week, and that's okay. As long as like we've talked about it and we're okay with it. But for the most part, one of our rules is that we need to be seeing each other just as much or more than we are seeing our other partners, for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, so it's just really it's setting aside quality time so that we can, maintain our connection and our bond,
Mm-hmm.
um, and also just being completely open and transparent with everything that we're going through, that we're thinking, that we're feeling,
Yeah.
not hiding anything,
Yeah.
like not hiding our intentions with like other potential relationships, or
Mm-hmm.
just not hiding anything that can like further down the road lead to like jealousy or bitterness, or a loss of trust.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why that quality time is important for us to like have our fun and our enjoyment together, but also to like maintain this open communication.
Yeah.
And I think also just like not like having our apartment and our space just be ours.
Yeah.
I think that's really important, at least to start,
Yeah.
just so we feel like like this is like our place, like our haven, that's like just ours.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a safe, place. Hey, sorry. My cat Peach is trying to eat the flowers. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, feeling like our home is like it's our space for us to be together, um and we can always feel comfortable in. And shoot, what were you saying before? Oh yeah, the honest communication. That, I mean, that's like the biggest rule. That's like the number one thing. If you can't be totally honest, then it's never gonna work, because you have to you have to be able to say what it is that you're feeling, especially if you're not happy with what is happening. You have to be able to say something, otherwise down the road, that's when it's going to get tricky, and that is when jealousy comes up, or resentment and anger and all that stuff. And by not saying what you're feeling right off the bat, yeah, you may be uncomfortable being like, hey, I'm feeling insecure right now. That might be an uncomfortable thing to do, but it's going to benefit in the long run when you can say it now versus, like, I don't know, a week from now or a month from now, when like things get bad. Does that make sense? Yeah. So those are kind of like our ground rules. And like when I first started dating, it was hard for Mike. Um, and so he really had to do that. And but I was also always asking him, like, how do you feel about this? Like, I'm gonna go on a date, or I'm gonna go see this person. Is that okay? How are you feeling about it? So I always made sure to like give him that space to tell me. So if he was like, I'm not feeling comfortable, he had the opportunity to tell me. And I wanted to know, because of course if he was uncomfortable, then it was like, okay, well then what can we do to make you comfortable, or how can we fix it, or what can we do to sort of, you know, rectify the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think those are the main ground rules. I mean, we have some other ones, but they're not really related to preserving and deepening, our bonds.
Yeah.
It's more just like not causing any messes with like friends,
Yeah.
not causing any messy situations.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a little different. But yeah. Yeah, so those are our ground rules, but I also think they're really good ground rules just like in general for anyone who is thinking about or wanting to be in an open relationship.
Yeah, I think also just like talking about like your schedule, or like what you like are wanting to do, just like for that week, like on a Sunday, let's say.
Yeah.
Talking about like, yeah, like, after work these days or these nights, like let's hang out like, this night and that night, and then I'm gonna leave these other 2 days or so open to like talk to other people or maybe like see other people kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be like, perfectly scheduled out, but just at least like kind of giving a heads up, like, here's where I'm at, like here's what I'm thinking, like how my week might play out.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just give the other person a heads up about like, yeah, just to let them like be able to figure out like what's, how they want their week to go too.
Yeah.
That's just like the open communication part,
mm-hmm.
the planning part.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it.
I think that's it too. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. Sweet, we don't have anything. Yeah, thank you everyone for joining, for listening, for asking really, really good questions. Yeah, this went really well. It was a success. Yay! The new platform worked, so that's good too. Yeah, anything else you want to say before we?
Yeah. So I'd say thanks for participating and asking really good questions.
Yeah.
I thought those were really in depth and really insightful, and they
gave us a lot to talk about.
Yeah, gave us a lot to talk about and think about too. But but they were really good questions.
Yeah,
that's the core of kind of what, I don't know, some of the things we've had to think about
in
becoming polyamorous and kind of the start of our journey.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for getting involved and being engaged in this conversation with us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. This will be posted on YouTube and on all of the platforms, the podcast platforms tomorrow. I just have to, do some editing, but it will be up. So if you missed some of it or if you missed all of it, don't worry. You're going to, be able to watch it later. So, okay, we are signing off. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, stay tuned for our next episode on Monday.
Bye.